It's Dave Johan once again for Punch Out Boxing. Pleased to be joined by Gulraj Singh Power, Gully Power. You're back. WBC Grand Prix WBC Grand Prix. A bit of a mouthful there. You fought gallantly. You fought really well. Unfortunately, look, you never progressed, and we'll talk about that as well. But first off, how are you? What an experience! Not just representing Britain, but also representing the Sikh community as well, the diaspora that is the Sikh community. So absolutely fantastic, flying the flag for both communities. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you very much. Just been ticking over, staying training hard, and just making adjustments for the next part of my career, the next chapter.
I mean, look, what an experience. You first of all being selected, then going over there, then fighting, what was, let's be honest, the first fight, I'm smiling saying this because you came out victorious, but you were the underdog going into that. What a masterclass. I mean, you were getting rave reviews from people that are ringside, the commentators, the zone. What was that like? The whole
It
experience?
was great, man. It was great, man. Obviously, they matched me up very hard. The first fight, I was fighting Jafetli Lamido, a very, very good fighter. You know what I mean, from the United States, America, and he was a good fighter, man. He had a win over former world champion Ryosaki Iwasa, and he was a good fighter, man. Like I watched him, I was like, this guy's gonna be sharp, man. Like we only had like 2, 3 days notice we was fighting him. Like literally, was announcing the fights literally I think it was the day before, 2 days before that when he was gonna fight. And yeah, man, we got in there and we proved everybody wrong. I went there with a lot of confidence and we got the win over it. And he's a great fighter, man. He's a very good fighter, very humble. And obviously he's sparring Inoue as well. So like we completely went to the kind of like the top level from like let's just say Midlands level straight to the world level, you know what I mean? From the hangar straight to the top level. So it was great, man. I really enjoyed it, man. It was a great experience and fighting the best. That's what I've always wanted and showing where I was at, you know what I mean? And then, yeah.
What was Mauricio Sullivan saying to you? I mean, what after the fight, before the fight, and we'll talk about who you met along the way as well. But what did he say to you? Clearly, he was impressed with that performance, and even the second fight as well. Look, we'll get onto that as well. But clearly, he was impressed with you and your ability, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. He came up to me, said that was a great performance, and I think they was a bit shocked. I don't think they expected me to be so, sharp and fast, and beyond that kind of pedigree. You know what I mean? But I don't think they realize how much I study the game, and I'm always training, I'm always focused, and like I want to be like them champions. I think I'm always up for it to fight the best. Like them when I fight the best, I perform better, which is something that some fighters have. I obviously definitely have it, and like I said, I went from Midlands level, let's just say, to straight to world level, and that guy was like very high pedigree. He's been in with the best, and yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. It was a great, great opportunity, and shout out to the WBC and Riyadh season for letting me have that.
I mean, we'll talk about the second fight now. I did watch it. I'm going to cut straight to. I'm not just saying this because I know you and you've been on the show a few times and I met you, but I think that was a credible knockdown that you scored. Um, you've looked back at it, you've reflected, and again, I'm not being biased. I don't know how that wasn't scored as a knockdown. Are you getting the same sort of response from others?
Yeah, man. I'd say obviously it's done now, innit? And I really appreciate all the fans, like and the supporters that are really supporting me, my sponsor, everybody that. But everyone, let's just say when I posted it, I didn't realize how many people thought the exact same thing. I think at least 85% of my Instagram, my Facebook, everyone thought it was a knockdown. And obviously going like coming out of the fight, even though I did because I slipped a punch, I landed the left hook and I felt it go on his jaw. And the thing is, people think it's a graze because the way it looks, but it wasn't. It was a punch. He didn't actually trip over my leg. He fell because he put so much impact onto his punch and he dropped forward and I landed whilst he did it. And I've seen Pacquiao do that to a lot of fighters. I've seen a lot of fighters, punch people off balance. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like it's what it is, what it is. We move forward, but I genuinely thought it was a knockdown, but we gotta move forward from it. You know what I mean? No excuses. We keep moving forward, and hopefully in the future, if he ever wins a world title, if I ever win a world title, we can get the rematch on. You know what I mean? And I want 12 rounds this time. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's a great fighter, and he was very humble after the fight, and I respect him. But I'd love the rematch in the future. Just work my way up. You know what I mean?
You never know, do you? Because I mean, I always reflect back for fighters who fought each other early on in their career, and one that always springs to mind for me is James DeGale and George Groves. They
Yeah,
both
yeah.
went on to win world titles. The loss was a loss on paper, but they went on to achieve such, so many great things in the sport and inside life as well. So you never know. Your paths may cross again, and it could be for world titles. But what an experience! Who did you meet out there as well? Did you meet any other top fighters or?
I think I met Jerome Miller. I met Dan Aziz there. I met Ivan Zuko. I met a few people there. There's a few people, and there's quite. I think there's a few more. Obviously, I met the WBC president. I didn't meet. To be fair, where we was at was where we was all like in the same hotel. All the fighters were, which is quite funny. So every morning we're waking up and we just eyeing up our opponents, and it was quite interesting, man. But nah, man, it was all respectful, man. Like I think all the fighters I met there, even the ones in the higher weight categories, I met Eric Basran as well from Canada.
Yeah,
He's also representing the Sikh community, you know what I mean, representing his country, Canada. And he was a nice guy, man. I met some good people there, and you just realize fighters are just there to fight in it, you know what I mean? Even your opponents and that, they're just there to do a job. And I was the same. So yeah, man, shout out to all of them guys and that taking the risk in their career. And but yeah, man, it was good, man. It was a great experience. It's quite funny being in the same hotel as everyone because you literally wake up, you go downstairs and you see all your opponents that you could potentially be fighting, and it's really good. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. It was a good, great experience. Felt like I was in the amateurs again.
no, absolutely. So look, you're back. You landed. You reflected. It's glad to see you with a smile on your face and still cracking on and you're learning from what happened over there. What's next? When are you out next? What's going to go on next in your career? Um,
Oh, yeah. I'll speak like that. Basically, I'm literally out in 2 days again. So obviously, whilst we're recording, I literally got a call. I'm gonna be back in a 4 rounder. Just literally short notice fight. You know what I mean? We're still waiting on the opponent, and hopefully we get some big news after this one. But this is a must needed win, so I can move forward in my career and fight for titles. So, this is some good things are gonna happen on the domestic scene now. This is the next chapter of my career, and I'm only 22. I'm turning 23 next Tuesday. I'm still young in the game, and I can't wait till I take over the domestic scene. I've been sparring Nick Ball lately as well. I've
I
been
saw
in
that.
camp with Nick
Yeah, I
Ball.
saw that. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't get any better sparring than a world champion, can you?
definitely. Nick Ball's a great fighter, and when I was sparring him, is I learned so much from him, and also being in camp, seeing the way he trains. What I mean, the way his like mindset is obviously inspires me. So I was, just really happy to be there and sparring the best. And also that's the level I want to be at. I mean, this the level up is to become world champion. And I learn from everybody. I'm a sponge. So still doing the exact same thing I was doing before. I was fighting in Riyadh, staying focused, staying in the gym, staying locked in, and just inspiring the next generation. And like you said, keep on smiling, man. Keep on smiling. Obviously, I have a lot of doubters, a lot of haters, but we got to keep moving forward with our career, man. You know what I mean? And that just only gives me a lot more fuel.
Absolutely brilliant. Um, just got to get your opinion. Yeah, and we're asking quite a few people. I'm saying this with a smile on my face as well because it was, a bit odd, but I suppose fight preparations, people prepare in different ways. No doubt you've seen the controversy regarding Daniel Dubois, the party before the the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Um, what's your takes on that as a fighter? Do you find it strange because allegedly he did this before the Joshua fight as well?
Whatever makes him happy in it, I'm not sure because obviously, in my personal opinion, as a fighter, I wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm locked in before fights. I'm only with a few people, and I stay focused. I listen to a lot of Barton stuff as well. and I'm always praying to God. So like I keep my connection strong. But if that's what he does and it gets him up for the fight, then fair play, you know what I mean? And personally, I don't think he performed that bad. I just think Uzyk's on a different level. I think Uzyk's a great fighter, and I think he's a generational great, and he could go into any era and beat any fighter. I'd say there's only a few fighters I could say give him a good fight, like Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali, them type of fighters. Even Riddick Bowe, I think Riddick Bowe's right hand would be a very big problem for him. There's a few fighters, Mike Tyson in his prime, definitely like I feel like, but Usyk, what he's done, I
Mm,
think we can't take nothing away from Daniel Dubois within three strong wins he's come back from. And obviously, whatever the background is with him coming back from parties and stuff, I'm not too sure about that in it. But if he was doing that before the Joshua fight, it must have worked. So, and Joshua's a hell of a fighter, man. Like
he
I
is,
look up
yeah.
to Joshua. He's a heavyweight champion. He's the one that brought back, the best of the best in British boxing. And you know, whatever it's heavyweight boxing, it happens. You know what I mean? Fighters get knocked out. Like I think people forget we're in a sport where we get punched in the face for money, and you're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get knocked down. I got knocked down in my last fight, but it doesn't mean nothing. Marquez, Juan Manuel Marquez got knocked down, and he's come back and knock his opponent out. You know what I mean? It happens in boxing. Pacquiao's been knocked down. Shane Mosley's been knocked down. It doesn't matter. Like great champions always get knocked down, but or knocked out. It happens. It's part of the game. And, you know, I think sometimes the fans can be too harsh and they don't realize that this is the game, this is the sport of boxing, this is what happens. You know what I mean? Even Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest of this era, got knocked down, you know what I mean? So, and Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, you know what I mean? It happens, man. Like, but yeah, man, I think if it helps him in it. I got nothing to say about that. I think he still performed really well. And, I think that he'll be back stronger. And I think potentially he could be world champion again. And for him to come back off them two losses that he came back from to become IBF world champion and have three strong wins, I've still got to give credit to him. But Usyk is a generational talent. So, he's a great one of the greatest. I would say probably pound for pound. I would say probably he is pound for pound number one in my opinion right now.
Yeah, because he's conquered it at cruiserweight and now at heavyweight. He's got everything and this fantastic amateur pedigree. What is it? Over
Definitely.
31 fights and only 15 defeats at amateur. I mean, that's impressive, isn't it, Gul? Um,
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
so you're out in a few days' time. The year looks really impressive for you. You've already
Yeah.
been on the zone. I think looking at it, surely you're going to have some TV deal or something knocking on your door soon because from where you live and Birmingham in terms of the fight scene that's getting only bigger, isn't it? I mean, Matchroom are doing loads of shows on there at the minute as well. I mean, the world's your
Yeah,
oyster this year, isn't it?
definitely, man. Like my coach always calls me the dark horse in it because I'm very, I'm one of them fighters that people underestimate to try to stay away from. But like I said, like I'm gonna come back strong from everything that's happened now. And you know, Riyadh gave me a lot of confidence. Obviously sparring Nick Ball straight away. Like 2 weeks later, I was back in sparring with Nick Ball. Like and all these things, this is like a throwback mentality of what the old school fighters had. And, now it's just time for me to level up, stay focused and just keep my head grounded. I'm always gonna remain the same. I'm always gonna look out for people, inspire the next generation, and just keep continuing what I'm doing. But what I want to do right now is just get back to drawing board, get that win in a couple of days, and then obviously, hopefully, we could get a British title fight by the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? I've been in the pipeline for the British, and that's what my management's trying to work on right now. And imagine that 23 years old in the space of 12 months fighting in Riyadh twice and being British champion is a crazy, crazy story, you know what I mean, for 1 year. So there's a lot of big things coming and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future holds. But yeah, my coach Richie, you know what I mean, he's been doing a lot for me behind the scenes. My management BCB been doing great things. So obviously my dad's always in my corner, my family, my sister, my brother-in-law, my mum, like I've got some good people around me. So like I said, I'm just gonna remain grounded, stay focused on the task and just keep knocking them down one by one.
Absolutely brilliant. Gully, all the best, mate, from Punch Out Boxing. Thanks for your time today. No doubt we'll have a look and see the result in about 3 days' time when it's on Box Rec, and we'll see, when you've been mandated as well for this for the title. That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. It's great, always great speaking to you.